We have canned bread again. I do remember we had them recently, but there's no link to the office page, so I don't remember which one it was. I do know it was like the last weekend that we had canned bread as an author. So yeah, canned bread road, yes, and okay, true. Canned bread, why don't you have an office page? It would make it so easy for me to like look up which SCPs you wrote so I can give you the credit you deserve. Yes. And but yeah, you know, you're right. I don't have really any. I can't really argue against that. Euclid special containment procedures. SCP-3055 is to be kept in a 10-kilometer squared containment cell at site, furnished with at least 8 folding chairs, as well as appropriate beds and restroom facilities. How's my girl doing? Okay. These cells to be stocked with food and water rations maintained by containment staff. Staff should monitor SCP-3055 to ensure that it is properly fed and hydrated. If SCP-3055 becomes hostile, -1 through -8 are to be tranquilized. At least 2 of -1 through 7-8 will be unaffected by this action. This will be expected, and the remaining members of SCP-3055 are to be placated as appropriate with food, water, medicine, etc. And here we have the stage of the now defunct theater. How am I feeling? It's fine so far. I'm awake. The TO does help, but like who knows? Maybe like in like 20 minutes and suddenly I'm like, and then update containment procedures. 2017, in order to prevent future suggestion events, see incident log A. A list of scene suggestions is to be frequently updated and kept on site so that it can be accessed on short notice. At least 2 guards are to be stationed inside the containment chamber to provide suggestions whenever one is requested. Description: SCP-3055 is the collective designation for 8 humans, stopped -1 through 8. Of the 8, 7 were formerly the members of Dan Institute of Improved Thespianry, an action troupe specializing in improvisational comedy, improv. Based out of the now defunct theater in New York City. -8 became a part of SCP-3055 after initial containment. See incident log A. Starting at some time in early 2016, it has been impossible for any member of SCP-3055 to enter or exit building without being accompanied by the other 7 individuals. Attempts to cause this to happen, both by SCP-3055 and others, have resulted in an unseen force blocking the door of the building in question. SCP-3055 is also unable to stop its ongoing set of scenes. Even when the group is moving, the scene continues while it is walking. Dialogue has not been observed to cease for longer than 2 seconds. Efforts to force SCP-3055 to stop its scene have so far been unsuccessful. Yeah, isn't if I'm not mistaken, Yes and is probably also the name of like a very popular improv game, if I'm not mistaken. All of -1 through -8 are unable or unwilling to speak or communicate in any way besides the dialogue in the scene. This has largely impeded Foundation efforts to determine the origin of their condition or potential treatments for it. Despite being in a constant state of improvisation, -1 through -8 still have the same basic physical needs as non-anomalous humans, such as eating, drinking, sleeping, and excreting waste. While in containment, they have developed a system of shifts in which 2 or 3 of the actors carry on the scene while the others fulfill these needs. Those on the inactive shift are still unable to independently enter or leave buildings, and generally do not divert their attention from the scene while they are awake. Periodically, SCP-3055 asks for scene suggestions. It will typically accept the first word or phrase spoken after these requests. Regardless of its semantic content, if no suggestion is given, other anomalous properties manifest for an account of these. See incident log A. Oh, yeah, coming back. Come on now. It has been observed that members of SCP-3055 can expire and be anomalously reanimated shortly afterwards. It is believed that the members of SCP-3055 are still driven by human instincts to some degree and take care of their physical needs in order to avoid discomfort, rather than needing to fulfill these needs to survive. Prior to containment, the original 7 members of SCP-3055 resorted to increasingly desperate means to fulfill these physical needs, gaining significant notoriety in New York City as violent thieves. Recovery log 1 surveillance footage. The following is a transcript of surveillance footage involving SCP-3055 at a popular upscale restaurant. Begin transcript 2016, 1915, 4. So like, yeah, 1915 o'clock. SCP-3055 is seen walking through the door of the restaurant. Hello, do you have a reservation? So, Mom, there's this boy I like. Oh, tell me about him. Tell me. Dash 5 and 1 are addressing each other, apparently ignoring the maître d'. SCP-3055 proceeds into the dining area. Sorry, what? Sorry, what? Did you have a reservation? SCP-3055 continues to ignore them. I don't even know how to say this actually. Maître d'? How do you... Because I know what it means. I believe it's like somebody who like...
Maître d'hôtel.
The head waiter of the... Yeah, the maître d'. I'm not sure why hotel is part of the mix.
Maitre d'.
Maitre d'.
Maitre d', okay. Proceeds through the dining area and toward the kitchen. It's just a word I never had to actually use. All members of SCP-3055, except those active in the scene, steal and eat food from the plates of customers. He's totally dreamy. His name is Steve and he drives a Mustang and sings in a band. Oh, you know your father played in a band when we were in high school. Those were the -2 touches, -1 on the shoulder, taking its place in the scene. -1 immediately begins eating any food it can reach while walking. Hey babe. Steve! I'm so totally psyched that we're dating now. I'm calling the police if you don't stop this right now. Are you insane? SCP-3055 enters the kitchen. At this point, ambient dialogue in the restaurant has ceased due to SCP-3055's odd behavior. Hey Steve, won't you sing me a song? You know it, babe. I need a suggestion. Get it out of my kitchen. -2 begins singing to -5 unaccompanied. The lyrics of its songs are based on the sentence, get out of my kitchen. The Maître d' begins using his cell phone to call the police. He exits the kitchen. All inactive members of SCP-3055 continue to steal and consume food and water from the kitchen. That's what I want. That's what I need. Get out of my kitchen. It's where I feed. The sous chef and several other members of the kitchen staff begin to force SCP-3055 out of the kitchen. Initially attempts to fight, and -5 throws the sous chef back with considerable force, concussing him. Oh fuck. SCP-3055 then begins to flee the establishment. Oh Steve, you're so dreamy. I know babe. And you are too. SCP-3055 exits the restaurant. At least 2 squad cars from the New York Police Department are visible outside. And transcript. 2016, 19 o'clock, 51 seconds. I actually never did like a improv thing with my class. We had acting classes, like drama. It was just called drama class, which I always was like super excited for. Because all we did was like, you know, read scripts and actually like try to learn the scripts from hand. And and create like a stage play and all that stuff. It was fun. But we never did like, well, no, we did improv, but never like to this level. Recovery log 2 NYPD report. The following is an excerpt from a report filed by one of the police officers recording to the call placed by the maitre d' of except at which point the 7 subjects exited the restaurant through the front door. One child was asking for a suggestion. Officer instructed all of them to remain in place and put their hands on the head. 5 of the suspects complied, but the Hispanic male who asked for the suggestions turned to one of the white females and continued talking. These 2 suspects appear to be acting out a scene of an unrelated police arrest, in which the male was a detective arresting the female who had killed the male's father. It's a little bit complicated, don't you think? After repeated orders to remain still and submit to arrest, these 2 suspects continued to act out the scene. Officer and I proceeded to their location with the intent of handcuffing them. The 5 remained compliant, but the aforementioned 2 suspects resisted arrest. No. Not resisting arrest. That's the worst. The female suspect managed to pin me to the ground and take my side. Oh, fucking hell. At which point she thanked me and killed herself with a gunshot to the head. What? That escalated. That escalated way too fast. Extra notes later redacted. By the time paramedics arrived on the scene, the female suspect's gunshot wound had already healed significantly. As she was being placed in a body bag, she inhaled, sat up, and presented her wrists, as if to be handcuffed. And the other officers remained on the scene, were reluctant to interact with her, and she did not speak. Eventually, I arrested her, and she put up no further resistance. She was crying. Wait, she was crying. Why was she crying? In the police station, all other 6 suspects were outside, and officers were apparently unable to get them into the building. When the suspects I arrested joined them, they all entered the building and submitted to processing. I expected to tender my letter of resignation within the next few days. Like, this is too crazy for me. I don't want to do this anymore. And except shortly after this report was filed, Foundation agents embedded in New York Police Department brought SCP-3055 into containment. All persons who witnessed -6 reanimation were amnesticized, and a cover story was propagated through local media to explain the incident as a regular robbery. Incident log A suggestion event. The following is a transcript of surveillance footage of SCP-3055 in containment during the first and currently only observed suggestion events. Begin transcript 2017 235. -3 and 7 are performing a scene. -6 is eating, and -1, 2, 4, and 5 are sleeping. The security guard on duty inside the cell is restocking its inventory of rations. He's listening to music with headphones and is not paying any attention to the dialogue of the scene. I need a suggestion. The guard does not answer. 2 seconds pass. She asked for a suggestion, please. 2 seconds pass. SCP-3055 scene resumes. Madam President, I have some grave news about robo-anarchists. The robo-anarchists have been ravaging America since 2095. The remaining inactive members of SCP-3055 awaken or stop eating and begin speaking in unison. For the sake of brevity, they will be referred to as the troop in this transcript. In the void of suggestion comes improvisation in its purest form. It's Racer supercomputer. We hacked the treasury. The Racer supercomputer? I thought we had killed her. Beam me to the treasury at once. An arbitrary truth that comes into being and leaves as it arrives. The name of Thespis reserve. Wait a minute. Likely a reference to the real. Is it Thespis or Thespis? An ancient Greek man widely considered to be the first actor in Western society. I think I vaguely recall the name. I don't think I looked into anything about the theater of ancient Greek's time. Even though, again, we did have the drama class and we did look at like ancient Greek and how they used to do theater stuff. The guard continues to restocking inventory, apparently dancing to the beat of his music. Later, at the treasury. Good God, these Teresa supercomputer, she hacked herself back to life. Madam President, as your technical general, I think we need to beam you in the secure electro bunker. How was this the privileged creation that no director but Thespis, I was gonna say that, it's easier to say than Thespis. Thespis, yeah, Thespis, and no audience, but death may see. Each member of the troop emits a beam of light, intense light, greater than 10,000 lumens. Directed at the security guard, he turns around and removes his headphones, but shows no signs of injury or distress. The suggestion is you. Each member of the house except Dash 3 and 7 collapses unconscious. The guard joins the scene. Did someone say Teresa supercomputer? Why, that is me, Madam President. Your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. End transcript. 2017, so they added a new player. Oh fuck. 2:37:33 o'clock. The security guard affected by this anomaly continues to display the same anomalous properties as -1 through 7 and has been designated -8. Containment procedures have been updated to prevent future events such as this one, dubbed suggestion events. The investigation is ongoing into possible existence of an anomalous entity referred to as Thespis, or the possible connection between SCP-3055 and the real Thespis. That is fun. It's kind of like a little. It's very silly because the idea of like having an improv class anywhere and everywhere would drive you insane, to be honest. Like the first maybe half an hour you find it's funny, but then after a while they just kept on sticking around where you are, and you're like, okay, I had enough now. I'm really sick and tired of all these guys doing the improv show. That's like decent, you know. Imagine telling my dad, "Hello, do you have a suit reservation?" I bet he would just walk away. I swear it sounds like my dad throws the sous chef backwards with. Okay. Oh yeah, because yeah, -3 did that. Was it -3 or -2? -2. Follow me. I have mistaken. I feel for them since SCP-3055 is also only able to stop its ongoing set of scenes. I mean, from what we can tell, the people are not being hurt. They kind of they still eat, they still sleep. Not sure if they feel in pain from this or anything like that. The biggest issue is apparently if you don't make a suggestion or play along a little bit, they will transform you into one of the dashes. Like you will become one of them. And it also sounds like very much like a hive mind, to be honest. Okay.